Tiffany Yu is a Los Angeles-based disability advocate and inclusion campaigner who gathers and empowers communities with the mission to elevate disability pride. She joined the Memoir Sherpa program because she wanted to learn from someone whose memoir had actually become a bestseller, which is so wise of you, Tiffany, because you don't want to learn from someone who's teaching from theory. Since taking the program, what has been your level of confidence with your ability to write, publish, and market your book?
I know you talked about rabbit trails. It's been a dream of mine, I think, since I was in high school to write a book, but
Really?
life
Wow.
kind of got in the way. I actually remember back to when my senior year of college, we had to write a letter to our counselor, and it was called It's Time. And by it's time to apply to college. So we had to write a letter to our high school guidance counselor about what our dreams and aspirations were. And I came across my letter recently, and I talked about how I wanted to write a book. And so serendipitously, I think this program came into my purview. I had gotten connected to Natasha through a couple female founders communities that we're both a part of, and had supported her through her book launch and watched it become really successful. Not only Amazon bestseller, I think was Wall Street Journal bestseller as well, in addition to a couple others. When she introduced that she was launching this Memoir Sherpa program, I was just like, I gotta participate. The timing was over the summer though, so it was a little bit more difficult, but every single week you got to meet with Natasha at least twice. And in terms of my level of confidence, I started doing some writing, but I am very grateful that we have access to the course materials to reference back to when the time comes that I'm ready to make it to those next steps of the book publishing process.
Well, even just to be able to confidently put a bookmarker, I mean, I know that's a little punny, but we'll roll with it, right? To put a pin in where you're at and then be able to continue as life as normal, that you don't have to go far away into a cabin in the woods in order to write your book and do the thing, that you have the confidence of knowing exactly where you left off. I think that's major. And it's also major to take advice someone who has recently done the thing, because all of those mistakes and successes are top of mind. For you, what was the most impactful takeaways from the program that you found?
This one's a little bit more personal, but for people who are newer to me, I paralyzed one of my arms in a car accident when I was 9. My dad also passed away. I mean, this will eventually make it into the memoir. And so I type with one hand. So the idea of kind of just thinking about typing an entire book just felt really daunting to me. But because I was taking this program, I think there were two things, and maybe this also ties into your next question. There were two things or actually three things that I loved. Number one was I loved having a consistent live touch point every single week, even if I could only make one or I couldn't be super present. It was like, this is on my calendar, I'm going to make it. And if I can't do all of the course materials, at the very least, I'll get this live time to not only pick Natasha's brain. I mean, she was just an incredible thought partner as I was thinking through like timing and all of this stuff. But then at least the second part, which is she brought her editor in to provide some insights of how they found each other, how the two of them worked. And we had an option to share some of our writing with both Natasha and the writer and editor that she worked with, which then led to the third most impactful thing for me, which is I actually got 3,500 words down on a page. Now, that isn't going to be a book. It's probably like half of a chapter or maybe a very short chapter. But the fact that I at least just got, even if that's like 5 to 10% of what could potentially become a book, I don't know. I'm just like super proud of myself that like I actually just got something down because I wanted to submit it to Natasha and Jamie to review. And then not only did I write those 3,500 words, I got both of them to take a look. And at the time, it was really just more of a brain dump of like, I just want to get these stories out. But to have two seasoned writers get to take a look at it and provide feedback that I'm then going to go on my own time and flush out and take their feedback into account, I think was probably, those three things just became what my experience was in the program.
Those are major. I mean, that to have an extra set of eyeballs to look at what you've done and to have that point of accountability and encouragement. It's not all about checking up on you, but it sounds like it really re-energized you throughout the process. So were those the activities that you enjoyed the most, or were there additional activities that were really helpful for you throughout the program?
The program that I did, there were two kind of touch points throughout the week. So every Tuesday with either a summary of the things that you could find in the modules that Natasha would go over live and then answer any questions. And then that Friday was office hours. So you could show up and it could be, questions around what we were learning in the modules. It could be questions about your own writing, or you could take time on your own. It could even just be like a writing sprint time that you could then come together at the end. So I think that the live part, I mean, that's the part that I was the most active in, but I also just appreciated that I wasn't just doing this by myself. It wasn't just like me and Natasha, right? So there were a handful of other people who were working on writing, and I think we were all at different points, and it was just motivating and inspiring to me to know that I wasn't alone in this journey, but then also know, I mean, I honestly, I felt behind the whole time I was in the course, but then also know that like other people had life stuff going on too, and they didn't get to do as much writing as they wanted to, or they couldn't show up for as many of the live events as they wanted to. And just like understanding that the course could fit in. Um, and Natasha, I mean, you've met Natasha. She's just like so gentle. Like I never felt like judged or shamed that I like couldn't watch the module or that I could only join or that like I didn't have any writing done. And I think that having, yeah, not only having the cohort, but also having those touch points were probably my favorite part.
Oh, absolutely. I could totally see that. As someone who has ADHD, sitting next to someone who's doing the exact same thing, or just knowing that other people are going along on the journey with me, that really helps encourage someone like me. But then you're also saying there was that level of a reality check that everyone has multiple areas of their lives that they're juggling. So that's really cool. What do you want other people to know about the Memoir Sherpa program?
So many things. I will also say that I am familiar that there are a couple other book programs out there. And some are like, get your book published in 3 months. And I think what I appreciated about this course is that Natasha also walked us through all of the different publishing options that are available to us and the pros and cons that are with them. I think that knowing having that optionality, because I think with the other courses it's more like self-publishing, and for some of them you have to like crowdfund your way through, or I don't know, but I think I also want people to know that I think I came into the program feeling a lot of imposter syndrome, that no one was going to care. And I think having not only Natasha lead the program, but have her bring in Jamie made me better understand just not only the people that your story will touch, but also the people that you think would support you might not be the ones who show up. It was helpful to actually get to talk to someone who had, because most of my friends right now are publishing like business related books, because I don't know, maybe we feel like that's having a moment, or maybe that's where I am in my career. But I haven't seen a lot of memoirs come out, and I haven't had a firsthand relationship with someone who has not only published a memoir, but has had it become successful and appear on multiple bestseller lists. And so to hear from her about, how her family reacted to such personal parts of her story, I think is something that a lot of people don't talk about. So I just appreciated the real talk that also came with the program. But I think Natasha's great. I think she's put a lot of thought into the curriculum. Even having finished the program, I still have on my to-do list to go watch the modules. So I think I just want people to know that you're going to get all of the information. It might move at a pace that is not where you are, but it's going to be there for you. So if writing a memoir is something you've always wanted to do, sign up, take the course. At least for me, Going up to the live sessions is something that's important to me and something that I know I'll do. And maybe for you, it'll be watching all the modules is your thing, but maybe you can't make all the live things. So I like that it's, I guess it's puzzle pieces, or it's kind of, and I don't think Natasha would like that I said this, but it's like pick and choose in a way. But I think no matter where you are in your journey, you're going to get something out of the program.
And it sounds like you got a lot out of the program, both the practical steps that you need, the support that you definitely needed, and it sounds like even more community. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.